In this lesson, I'm going to take you through the steps to tap a keg. We'll also talk about tapping multiple kegs, as well as some simple end-of-day procedures. Before we get started, always consider your safety. Kegs are heavy and they can weigh up to 64 kilos when full and can cause injury if they are not handled or moved correctly. For this reason, avoid double stacking your kegs and always use a keg trolley when moving kegs. When a keg runs out, in cases where a fob detector is used, the beer will stop flowing at the tap. If a fob detector is not in use, the beer will spray from the tap. In both cases, it's time to change the keg. So, how do you tap a keg? Most kegs when delivered will have a dust cap fitted. This is to protect the valve while being delivered and stored, and also provides information around the contents of the keg, its best before date, and any other relevant information. Remember, always make sure you are tapping the older stock first to ensure a first in, first out process. Step 1. Remove the dust cap from the keg. Step 2. Select the correct keg coupler for the keg. I'm going to show you how to change a D-type keg. This process will be similar for other kegs too. Step 3. Spray the coupler base and well of the keg valve with sanitizing spray to remove any yeast or bacteria. Step 4. Ensure the handle is in the closed position. Step 5. Position the coupler above the keg valve so that the locating lugs align with the slots in the neck of the keg. Step 6. Fit the coupler and turn clockwise a quarter of a turn or about 90 degrees. Step 7. Connect the gas line to the side of the coupler. Step 8. Spray all stainless steel line fittings with sanitizer to remove any bacteria before connecting the beer line to the top of the keg coupler. Step 9. Depress the handle and pull down until it locks into position. Some keg couplers may require you to pull the handle out before depressing. Step 10. Once the keg is pressurised, beer is ready to be pulled through at the bar. Most venues will have a fob detector installed, which will need you to bleed or vent the beer off before pouring. The fob detectors I'm using here require me to push down to vent out. Yours may be slightly different. In some cases, it may be best suited to tap more than one keg at a time. We call this banking of kegs or tapping multiple kegs. This allows for more beer to be poured before a keg needs to be changed. To ensure the freshest beer is always served, make sure the keg at the front of the bank, the head keg, is always the newest stock and should always be full. The keg at the back of the bank, the butt keg, should always be the older stock. It is also recommended that all keg banks be run out completely at least once a week. What this means is at least once a week you have a scheduled routine where you don't bank your kegs again and allow those lines to run empty before retapping any kegs back onto that line. The reason for this, when we are banking kegs, we are allowing different batches of beer to flow into fresh kegs. When we tap a keg, we expose that beer to oxygen and bacteria, which will then flow into fresh stock and then contaminate that beer, which can lead to detrimental effects in taste and aroma. So how do you tap multiple kegs? Step 1. Connect keg couplers to all kegs without depressing the handle. Again, ensuring to spray all connections with sanitizing spray to remove any bacteria. Step 2. Connect gas into the side of the keg coupler that is tapped onto the butt keg and the transfer lead to the top of that keg coupler. Step 3. Connect the other end of the transfer lead to the side of the coupler on your head keg. Step 4. Connect the drop lead to the top of the keg coupler on the head keg. Step 5. Depress all handles and pull down until they lock into position. Step 6. Once the kegs are pressurised, beer is ready to be pulled through at the bar. Most venues will have a fob detector installed, which will need you to bleed or vent before pouring a beer. There are a few simple steps I recommend you take at the end of trade. Firstly, always turn your gas cylinders off. This will reduce gas usage as well as reduce the risk if a gas leak has not yet been detected. Lift all keg coupler handles and remove the gas nozzles from all keg couplers. Now you know how to tap a keg, the next time you get an opportunity in your venue, put your hand up and have a crack. Keg banking is a handy technique during times of busy trade as it reduces the time a tap is offline because of a keg that has run out. Only bank kegs if you are positive they'll be sold through in less than a week, and make sure there is a good process in place to ensure correct stock rotation and they're running out of banks.